Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Globe Life Park in Arlington. It is baseball time in Texas.
You know, whether it's here at Globe Life Park or at Old Arlington Stadium, for 35 years now, that's been Chuck's greeting to the fans who entered. When you hear that, that's when you know it's time to settle in for some entertainment in Texas Rangers baseball.
Hearing it's baseball time in Texas is, you know, a big part of, if there was a CD of Texas Rangers baseball, that's the first track.
He is the voice of the Rangers, you know, as far as I'm concerned. You know, people talk about me as the voice of the Rangers. I'm the radio voice of the Rangers. Chuck Morgan is the voice of the Rangers. And I can't tell you how many times I've met somebody and I've been introduced to somebody as the Texas Rangers announcer, and they're disappointed to find out I'm not Chuck.
I had the privilege of seeing and hearing the great Bob Shepard, the late Bob Shepard in New York. We had Roy Steele, we called him the voice of God. So you have the East Coast, West Coast. I look at Chuck Morgan being right in the middle, Southwest, if you will. But, I mean, some of the great ones, and I think Chuck is right there with them.
You know, Chuck talks about his passion for this starting at an early age, whether it was play-by-play in the backyard for some wiffle ball games or doing PA work for Little League games. I think he even did that for some pack of baseball cards. He was entertaining folks from the start, and I think deep down inside of all of us that do this for a living, you know, we're born with that. We enjoy entertaining. That's what it's all about.
No, he started at a very young age in Southern Illinois, and I think anytime you have the love for sports, you ideally want to play, but if you can't play, in the case of Chuck, I mean, a great voice to become, first of all, the Grand Ole Opry, and then come to the Rangers to excel in something that a lot of people can't do.
The shortstop, Elvis Andrus.
Chuck's path to Major League Baseball and game entertainment is about as unique as it gets. You know, it started in Nashville, Tennessee at WSMV TV, Channel 4, and WSM Radio. On the TV side, he did news and sports reporting and even got to work with weatherman at the time, Pat Sajak. Working WSM Radio would lead him to an opportunity to be the voice of the Grand Ole Opry.
Out front, the house lights are dimming and all is ready for the concert by today's guest stars, the Carlyles and Grandpa Jones. So stay tuned for Stars of the Grand Ole Opry.
Chuck got to rub shoulders with so many musical greats that came through Nashville, and it even led to some appearances on Hee Haw.
Well, bless my soul, if it ain't Chuck Morgan, famous DJ with the Music Country Network.
When Chuck wasn't doing radio and TV, he was doing PA work for the Nashville Sounds.
Here's the starting lineup for your Nashville Sounds.
His dream has always been to work in professional baseball, and this would be his first step. The Sounds at the time were a Double-A affiliate of the New York Yankees and ultimately led to Chuck getting a chance to fill in one afternoon for Yankees legendary PA announcer Bob Shepard.
The next voice you'll hear will be that of Chuck Morgan.
For the Yankees, number 44, right fielder Reggie Jackson.
So in 1982, Chuck had a tough decision to make. He'd been approached by Sounds owner Larry Schmittou to join him on a move to the Texas Rangers. Problem was, in Nashville, he was working on hit TV and radio shows and was even named Country Music Association's Major Market Disc Jockey of the Year. You know, in the end, he just really wanted to work for Major League Baseball, and so that won him over, and off he went to Arlington.
Well, I remember Chuck coming in 1983, and Larry Schmittou, who had Chuck working for him at Nashville, giving him this tremendous buildup. You're not going to believe how good this guy is, and all that. And you know, we had no idea what we were getting. And then the very first game when Chuck announced Bucky Dent, the way that only he can do it.
Number 20, Bucky Dent.
We knew that we really did have somebody special and that we had not been oversold on this guy.
So ultimately, Chuck was brought to the Texas Rangers to be the PA guy, but when Larry got him over here, he also had him selling program ads, promotions, and suites. Over the next 30-plus years, he'd add marketing and promotional giveaways to that list, too. Chuck's also responsible for the creation of the Rangers Hall of Fame, Fan Fest, our Six Shooters program, and Rangers Captain, our mascot. You know, of all of that, though, nothing impacted him greater than in December of '83 when the Rangers decided to become the second team in Major League Baseball to install a video board. That just happened to be a Diamond Vision Mitsubishi board. In fact, fellow Idea Hall of Fame member Dave Belding's the one who sold it to him. Over the years, Chuck's control rooms have been a who's who of Idea Allied members, from Mitsubishi to Daktronics. The list is endless. Once that video board went in, Chuck would end up wearing more and more hats. By day, he was writing, shooting, and editing for the video board, and then he'd jump over to the PA booth and put his DJ skills to work during the game.
My earliest memories of coming to the ballpark probably are of Chuck. You know, you hear all the sounds and the music and the fans cheering, but for me, what always stands out more than maybe individual games is hearing Chuck announce the players, whether it was for the starting lineups or each time they'd come up to bat. And, you know, the one that always stands out to me is Juan Gonzalez. I just think that, you know, hearing Chuck, I mean, he's part of the soundtrack of my childhood. Texas Rangers baseball wouldn't be the same without him.
So as walk-up music grew in popularity in the early 80s, Chuck found himself becoming an integral part in the players' routines and developed some great relationships because of it.
Well, I think that Chuck's personality comes across in his in-house show from night to night, and I think that he makes a point to go down and introduce himself to the players so they get to know him, and I think they appreciate his enthusiasm. So I think they really enjoy it because they feel like they're getting special treatment.
The music that I chose and Chuck's voice became part of my hitting routine. As a player, you get a little bit of you get that home cooking feeling where you feel good about our odds in that game just because there's a feeling of routine, a feeling of comfort, a feeling of being home. And you know, Chuck is a huge part of that for the home team here in Texas.
He's a person that never say no. When we ask him for a favorite song that he want, he find it really quick and play it.
You know, walk-up music, probably right when I got to the league, became a really big thing. And you know, players think long and hard about which one they want to pick, and Chuck always nails it.
Chuck has worked every crown jewel event that MLB has to offer, from calling the starting lineups and providing entertainment for the 1995 All-Star Game to working every playoff game in Rangers history. Though none of those would compare to entertaining fans and building a frenzied atmosphere for the 2010 and 2011 World Series.
My biggest memories of ballpark experience are in the World Series and the playoffs, and we went on that really great run here. This was the loudest place I had ever seen, and a lot of that was to do with the environment here, both from the players that were on the field and from Chuck complimenting that and giving the fans what they want to hear, what they want to see.
Chuck's done it all. He's been in movies like The Rookie, and he's also been the PA voice on baseball video games. His next biggest achievement will come in the form of having worked 3,000 consecutive baseball games. Not even a chance to go see one of his friends, Pudge Rodriguez, inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame, will stop that.
He's giving up Cooperstown because he wants to keep that streak alive. To me, if I'm a fan and I know he is that personal about what he does, I'm going to say I want to come to the game to listen to him because he's going to be there every day. When you're approaching 3,000 consecutive games as a PA announcer, no matter what you do, Cal Ripken Jr., yes, is a player, but for Chuck Morgan, I couldn't be happy for him to be inducted in the Hall of Fame.
To me, the idea organization is about ideas, both creating and sharing them. And for Chuck, ideas come so naturally.
You know, I think he has a sense for what people like. He has a sense for what people will enjoy. And he's not afraid to take chances, but he's almost always right.
As long as he's been there, he's constantly trying to improve, always trying to make the experience for the fan better.
Chuck shows his emotion for the team, for what he does, his love for what he's doing. I mean, he sounds so happy doing it.
For the 6th time in franchise history, the Texas Rangers have won the American League's West Division.
You know, ultimately, though, his crowning achievement as far as features goes has got to be the dot race. I mean, as far as longevity and the way the fans react to it, there's no doubt that the dot race is what he's known for here.
So it took me about a month, and I messed around and played around with it, and I came up from being an old video guy at the TV station. I generated 3 dots, and we put them on a track, and I had my wife make the track. She made it out of cinnamon. Because I tried Arlington Stadium infield dirt, but it didn't look right on the camera, so she suggested cinnamon. So we did cinnamon and raced them once, and these fans went nuts. We weren't giving anything away. We weren't doing anything. It was just kind of, hey, pick your dot. And that's how it happened. And suddenly it ballooned into this, it's this ridiculous thing that happened.
To see how much excitement it generated, even when it was just 3 little dots up on that screen there, it's almost like telling somebody what playing Pong was like compared to playing video games today. From literally just a dot on a screen to the live dot race now.
There's no question to me that it's one of the earliest animated races in sports, and like others, it's progressed to live races such as the giant dots we use and now even the mini dots, which are always fun. But I'll tell you this, in whatever form, it never fails to get a huge reaction. Another attribute that I think makes Chuck Idea Hall of Fame worthy is he genuinely cares about the fans and the experience they have here at this ballpark.
I don't think you can really fully comprehend the impact that Chuck has on our fans, and you know how much they interact with him and how responsive he is to that, which is for a fan is a big deal. I'll get a lot of questions a lot of times, people asking me things, and I don't know the answer. I send them to Chuck, and within 2 seconds, there's a response.
What I hope people know about Chuck is that he cares about every individual fan. You know, whether you're a big spender with the Rangers or a one-time ticket buyer, you know, in the nosebleeds, Chuck cares about every individual fan. And I think, you know, Twitter's been great for him because it's been an opportunity for him to reach out to fans and for fans to reach out to him and get to know the guy that, you know, sits behind the microphone.
You know, I feel like Chuck's made a significant impact in the industry and certainly here at the Rangers. He just means so much to those he works with, whether it's the players, the fans, or even the front office.
This is a pretty big industry-wide honor, and I'm really glad to see that he receives it not just for his voice on the PA, but everything else that he has brought to in-house entertainment.
As a lifelong Rangers fan who's been going to games for nearly 30 years, I can't imagine Texas Rangers baseball without him.
You know, I'm just excited for Chuck because I know how much this means to him. This industry's been his whole life, and I know the only thing that would be sweeter is getting to call the Rangers World Series champions someday.
It's the best for me. I think he's still a lot of years left in doing what he's doing, and I wish him the best, and I'm very happy for him to be a Hall of Fame, and congratulations from the bottom of my heart.